Steve, what's going on?
Dems are flipping out. Like always. They're always flipping out over something. They try to pretend that they're so calm and in control, but yeah, we have a new poll that came out today that confirmed what I argued on Friday. So we talked about this on my live stream Friday video, right? This is proof. This poll that dropped within the last 24 hours, this is proof. This is confirmation that if you are a subscriber to this channel, or even better, if you're an Insiders Club member, if you are either one of those or both, as Rush would say, you are on the cutting edge of societal evolution. So definitely subscribe to the channel, but even more important, click on the link below, sign up on our email list to make sure that we never, ever lose contact with one another, no matter what big tech censors try to pull on us. But I had, if you missed Friday, or even if you were listening on Friday, I had an extended thesis all throughout our 2-hour live stream Friday broadcast. It was our live stream reaction to Biden's, I mean, what do you want to call the press conference? It was Biden's, I mean, complete and total train wreck, disaster, Chernobyl. Ben Shapiro called it the Challenger explosion of press conferences. It made the Hindenburg look successful. I mean, remember, because it was the context of the Biden press conference on Thursday night. It was the context that just makes it so choice. It makes the whole thing so perfectly abysmal, because the context it is originally intended to assuage voters of their concerns that the Hur report, right, the special counsel report, corroborated that Biden was indeed very old and very, very, very senile, too old and too senile to be put on trial. That's basically what Hur concluded. And the press conference was supposed to dispel those concerns. Because, obviously, well, if he's too old and senile to be put on trial, then what's he doing with his finger on the nuclear button? So, people were willing to give Biden the benefit of the doubt. And they said, okay, good. So he's going to do a press conference. He's going to come out and he's going to talk about how, politically motivated this Hur report is for sticking that in there. How dare they? I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm sharp as a pin, and blah, blah, blah. And he got up there and he started to sputter in a way that only further confirmed what Hur saw. People, even the people who were willing to give Biden the benefit of the doubt, were suddenly shocked by how confused and befuddled and bewildered and disoriented he looked and sounded all throughout that train wreck press conference. Again, it was a public relations disaster. And I said on the live stream Friday broadcast, literally 12 hours after it, that all the calls that we heard erupting on Thursday night and throughout Friday, calling for the 25th Amendment, right, which spells out the formal procedures of how you remove a sitting president when he's no longer capable of carrying out his duties, that all those calls from Republicans, even some from Democrats like Dean Phillips, who's the representative from Minnesota, who's running against Biden for the Democrat nomination, all the calls for Biden to resign, none of these calls were under any illusions that Biden was actually going to resign or that anyone in his cabinet was actually going to follow through with invoking the 25th. What the calls for invoking the 25th all revealed, what they all identified, what they all were zeroing in on and politically pressing, was Biden's Achilles heel.
What if I told you there was a small group of investors who wildly outperformed the market? Well, There is, and you know exactly who they are. Corrupt politicians like Nancy Pelosi and establishment senators have been using their security clearances and exclusive knowledge to their advantage in the market for decades now. They know when sales are up. They know what earnings are going to be. They know about legislation, incoming Fed changes, you name it, a whole host of other inside baseball tips that gives them an unfair advantage when picking stocks. When these bigwigs make moves, odds are they know something. But thanks to a little-known SEC database, guess what? We can see what and when these people are buying. Not only do we get to see it in real time, but we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves perfectly legally and ethically. My friend Ross Givens has been tracking insider trading for years, and his recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some have hit as high as nearly 1,500%. And according to him, there's no better way to beat the market. Now it's your turn. Click on that link below right now and learn how you too can learn to trade like Pelosi. Click on that link and learn how to gain an insider advantage for yourself.
So I was just talking about this actually with Dinesh D'Souza earlier this afternoon. I did an interview with him that's coming out later this week. I'll reveal to you Insiders Club members, because you're on the inside, I'll reveal to you guys later on tonight what Dinesh said to me. But I brought this up to him and asked if he agreed, and you will not believe what he said. But what I argued on Friday was that Biden's age and senility, which go hand in hand, right? People can be 80 years old and still very much on top of their game. I mean, look at Warren Buffett, for heaven's sakes, right? Or if you want an evil example, like look at George Soros, the Dark Lord himself, right? What is he, 150 or something like that? And he's still causing all that trouble. It's not his age per se. It's his age and his senility. The age, as it were, sort of, it embodies the senility in this sort of perfect shell. Combined, his age and senility are his Achilles heel. And the fundamental reason for that is that you can reverse anything and everything Biden. You could reverse his disastrous policies, down ticket. You could reverse Bidenomics. You could reverse the disaster at the southern border. You can reverse the policies that are leading to inflation, recession. You could reverse foreign policy absurdities like, sending all gazillions of dollars into that money pit named Ukraine. All those things can be reversed with an election, with a change in the administration, with public pressure. All of those things can be reversed. What can you not reverse? You can't reverse Biden's age or his senility. They are only going to get worse, guaranteed. That's why it's his Achilles heel. Hannah, do you have the video montage I sent to you earlier today?
You want me to play it?
I want everyone to see what not just the nation is seeing. I want everyone to see what the world is seeing.
You ready?
Anyway, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. I was just thinking, anyway, but I just, look, I mean, Putin's kleptocracy, yeah. It was in January, after being elected, the late January, early February. He said, it's not, we lead, not just, well, I won't go into it. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers. For two reasons. One, it's an impact the decades are making, because inaction was and actually with the Department of from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, the idea that and
All right.
Joan,
I think everyone gets it. I do. I mean, I can't. I mean,
That's
yeah.
sad.
It is. I do. And I even said that on Friday. I said, in a sense, it feels incredibly cruel. If he wasn't doing so much damage to the nation and to the world, I mean, it would just be, this would be like kicking a puppy. I mean, it is so sad. But gang, the entire world is seeing that. Vladimir Putin is seeing that. And they're not afraid of us. So I made the argument on Friday that this is what you just saw there is Biden's Achilles heel. Literally, Trump doesn't have to do anything other than just play this day in and day out for people to see. He doesn't have to even talk about the issues again. All the issues could be reversed. We know that. That can't. And I cited a poll on Friday that came out earlier last week. It was the NBC poll. It was a devastating poll. What did it show Trump up by 5. Karine Jean-Pierre was actually asked about it by Peter Doocy, and she couldn't even remotely respond to it. Because in the crosstabs, the real... the shocker wasn't Trump up by 5, right? In the national polling, the shocker was, and again, and that was shocking in and of itself because NBC consistently is bearish on Trump. This is how Rich Barris would say it. They're not bullish on Trump; they're bearish. In other words, their polling inordinately always favors Biden. It favored Biden every single poll in 2020. Trump never even came close to tying an NBC poll. And it has up to this point, up to the last 2 polls, it's always shown Biden in the lead. Now NBC itself was admitting, frick, all right, Trump is in the lead now. All right, we've waited and measured everything that we could do. We've sampled it in every way that we could to make sure it would come out a plus Biden poll, and it didn't. No matter what we did, it's still Trump. So it's Trump 5. It's probably more like the latest McLaughlin poll that just dropped. I believe it was today, where it's Trump +8. It's only going to get higher. But if you bet, that wasn't the shocker. If you go into the crosstabs, the shocker, what Karine Jean-Pierre, a liar in chief, was asked about by Peter Doocy, was the 76% of voters that were seriously concerned about Biden's age and cognitive health. 76% of voters, 3 in 4, thought Biden was too old and senile to be reelected as president. Now, that was before the Her report dropped. That's before the bombshell report that came out on Thursday. We now have a new poll that just dropped in the last 24 hours. It's not an NBC poll. Now it's an ABC poll. Okay. An Ipsos, ABC Ipsos survey poll. And it found, you ready for this, gang? This is a poll taken after the Her report. Now, 86% of voters agreed Biden is too old and senile to be reelected. He should not be serving another term.
I hope you enjoyed that clip of my Monday night Insiders Club live stream. Join us live next week by clicking on the link in the description below and joining the coalition of patriots worldwide building a parallel economy to return to our roots of faith, family, and freedom. Click below right now.